Okay, welcome back everyone. Good morning. We have our 9:30 open in just about a minute and a half to go. If you guys watched the pre-market, you know what we're looking for. For those of you that did not, just a quick rundown. Obviously, we're going to be looking for price to continue higher, but we want to see a retracement, right? So we want to see price come down and take out some lows. Now, we do have some divergence here. All right, so it's possible that we don't go lower and follow this divergence through two previous days' highs. I did like that we respected these highs over here, right? And then we saw that big movement to the downside. This induces sellers into the market. This puts more orders up here above previous daily highs and gives us a target to reach for once we get that confirmation that we have, in fact, turned around. Unfortunately, on the 15-minute here, that's not going to come until we at least invert this imbalance here. So we're like halfway there. Okay, so it's not quite yet, right? But if we can get this inversion here, that's a good chance that we're going to hold this divergence and we're going to continue to go higher, right? Let's see what happens here in the next 20 seconds at the open here. We already had red news today, which was the 830, this move right here. So if we clear this and come back up and close above, then there's a good chance that, like I said, we're going to continue higher and take out those highs. So we have to wait for that to occur, right? And so that might happen at the open, or we might get another move down. We might see price respect there we go, right? Respect the imbalance and then continue lower. So let's see what happens. If we run through this low here, we've got our New York high and New York low. We'll see if we get our confirmation on the low. Right, and we want to see 15-minute closures to respect the bias, right? So either we'll see price come down, close below, and then close below again for continuation, or we'll see it close below, close above for reversal, and then we can look for reversal bias, right? So either way, we're going to be looking for liquidity to be taken out on the lows here. That's the closest, right? And if we make our way back up to the highs there, we'll see what happens on that front. All right, if I'm honest, I do like to see price, and I would like to see price continue all the way down here and take this level. Because I don't think that this is enough inducement, to be honest. So I'd rather see price come all the way down here and take this level out. And if you look over here, this is in the deep discount of our 4-hour range yesterday, right? And so we were looking for this to continue off of one of these. Okay, so this is like our 4-hour model right here with the internal sweep. This is like perfect. This is the order block down here. So if I draw from the body to the wick, right? This sits right above the OB. This gives us this model right here. Okay, in the discount. And then if we look for price to come down, smash through all of this, right? And what that does is, number one, it induces sellers because we get a break of this low. And then it confirms the liquidity up here, right? Or basically it continues to build liquidity here. And then this is what I'd expect to happen afterwards, continuing in this uptrend. So that's what I want to see happen. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we'll see. If we get some nice closures below this low here, then we can run for Asia lows, and then we can run for these lows, right? And then go down to previous day low. Obviously, I'm not trading all the way down to PDL if I'm taking entries up here, right? So I'm just saying that that's the result that I want to see happen. So that is what I'll be looking to trade if it gives me the confirmation. So what's the confirmation? It's going to be 15-minute closure, right, on this New York low, and then the continuation below that will either form an imbalance, right, on the closure, and then we'll trade back into the imbalance and then go down from there. That's the ideal setup that we want. Or any kind of, variation of that on the way down as it's forming lower lows and lower highs. Good morning, Anna. I missed that. Sorry. All right. So obviously we had our red news already. Today we have no other red news besides that. So let me just make sure we have nothing else. Yeah, tomorrow we have another 8:30 folder, and then Friday we have nothing after that. So So far we are respecting that imbalance. We're getting a nice reaction from that imbalance away from it, right? We still got 10 minutes to go, 9 minutes to go for the candle closure, of course, but that is going to certainly give us a nice bearish continuation. And then we'll just see how it does on this low here. We get a nice closure through that low, right? I'm going to be expecting the continuation. So if we get a nice, kind of smallish candle below, then we'll look for price to come back and retest the imbalance to go lower. It's looking like we're getting close to that level there. So let's see. All right, so there's that level tagged. Let's see what kind of reaction we get from that. Got a nice 1 minute imbalance here that we just formed. So if we do continue lower on a retracement, we want the retracement to respect this imbalance and continue through that low. Came close to it, didn't quite tag it. Did tag the psych level here. Also keep in mind that this up move here is that order block, right? So we get C price come back into the OB, not necessarily the imbalance and also get the move down. Either way, we want to see this close below at the end, right? So we are getting confirmation of that order flow. That price is going lower. And then we would want to see that close through that low for confirmation, and then the next candle to give us basically the same kind of formation here on the 15-minute. Romeo, nice to see you on the stream. Why did I stop trading BTMM? I get this question every stream. I mean, you can go back and look at other recordings. I've talked about this already. I will make a video on this eventually, because it's just a question that comes up pretty much every single time. It's just a matter of preference. You know, over the years, my trading has evolved. I haven't traded pure BTMM since like 2018, so 2019. So it's been like a long time. My trading has changed since then. I've added, you know, some other things. I've added other concepts to it, right? But the core of BTMM is still the same. It's still in my trading. There's still lots of things that I still use from BTMM. And it's not that I'm, you know, that I think it's a bad strategy or that I think that, you know, it doesn't work or anything like that. It's just my trading has evolved away from it. So that's the short answer. And I've, you know, talked about it kind of a little bit more in depth in other recordings. I don't know if you want to go back and look at the past lives, but that's the kind of short answer. But I will make a video for everyone, you know, kind of explaining a little bit more in depth about why I moved away from it, why my trading has changed, and I mean, you guys can see from my live streams here, like how I'm trading now, right? So this is how I trade now, and it's not the same as obviously BTMM, but I'll say the same thing as I always say in the other responses that I give. If BTMM is working for you, right? If it's a strategy that you find success with and you are still finding that it works, then continue to use it, right? I'm the car. I think car is the car of BTMM. Okay, I don't know if I'm the car of BTMM, but yeah, I mean, that's where a lot of you guys know me from, right? So I understand the question. I understand why you guys continually ask me about it. So I get it, but it's just not the way I trade anymore. So good to see you, Zane. Always a pleasure. All right, so nice projection from the level here. We're nearing our 15-minute close here. We're coming back above, so we're not getting that full momentum that we want to see underneath the low here. So this divergence is, in fact, holding, right? And we can see that we did get a nice rejection from that level. We're getting an inversion of the imbalance here, and we don't know for sure just yet until we actually get a closure through. But if we are going to see a short setup on this, right, this is the high, the internal high sweep that we would get from it. And there's that imbalance that we missed prior. So this is still a possibility. Let's see if this works out. So what I'm saying is we got the shift, right? We have the change of character. And now we have the range on the pullback. This is our internal high into our point of interest. And we can see if we get a reaction from that to go short. There's the inversion back up. So that's not good for bulls, but... Or sorry, not good for bears. Not. It's good for bulls, not good for bears. All right, let's see if we hold the New York level here. Got roughly 2 minutes after this candle closes, right? Oh, there's the tag. Let's see if it holds. So if you were to enter on this short right here, that would have been the entry, that closure. Your stop would go above this high above the psych level, in this case 280 right here, so about 45-ish, 50-ish points, and then you're targeting the 1-to-1, which is right here underneath this New York low. And ideally you want to target, you know, this low, take this out and then close below it, right, in the next minute and a half if we can, but who knows if we are going to. But once we get that closure, if we do get that closure underneath this 15-minute level, okay, then that will be the first confirmation. Right now it's going to be, I mean, I got a minute left, so we got a lot of ground to cover here. But if it does close underneath, then it would be bearish. If it closes like it is right now, it would be temporarily bullish, right? And then we would need to see another candle close above the level here to confirm that. So let's see. 50 seconds here on this close. Let's see if we close bullish or bearish. Still kind of hovering around here. We're not in this trade, by the way. I'm just marking the sell setup here. If it was going to be a sell setup, which technically we do have confirmations for it. We just don't have the EQ retest yet, which I don't know why we don't. I think we should have. Oh, because the candle's up here. I see why. Okay. Yeah, well, let's see. Let's see what happens here. Looks like we're going to get a move closer to the low, but not quite closing below it. Last 10 seconds. Sell setup is working out. And close. All right, so actually we close below, or at least inside of this imbalance here. Let's see if we continue through that. All right, I'm learning BTMM last 2.5 years. I'm struggling, so I'm very confused. Already dedicated 4+ years in trading. I mean, if you don't know what to do right now, I mean, I would say that you really have to be, you know, tracking your results. Okay, so I hope you're doing that. Some form of journaling, some form of tracking, right? It doesn't have to be like a formal journal, you know, but it should be some kind of tracking of some sort, so you know that you're actually, you know, making progress with the strategy that you're using, right? If you're 4 years in and 2.5 years have been BTMM, but you don't have real, you know, data to back that you're, you know, that strategy is working, then you're effectively wasting all that time, right? So, and if you haven't had a, you know, journal up until now, I would just start, right? The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time to start is right now, right? So start tracking your trades, start tracking your results, right? At least get into the habit of doing it, because that's going to help you figure out, right, if your strategy is actually producing an edge, because that's the whole point, right? You want a strategy that's going to be working for you in the long term. If you're not tracking your results, you're not going to know the answer to that, and you're just kind of guessing. So whatever strategy you're trading, make sure that you're taking, you know, you're tracking statistics so that you know, at least, at the very least, right, your setups, what your win rate is, and if you're profitable, you know, over however many, you know, weeks or months it is. That gives you at least a baseline to know whether you should continue with the strategy or not, right? A lot of people just kind of like, they choose a strategy, they pick a strategy, they trade it for like a week or two, right? It doesn't give them the great results, and then they jump to something else. So that's never going to get you anywhere, right? You're just going to spin your wheels forever doing that. So if you don't take, you know, notes, or if you don't take, or not notes, but if you don't track statistics, you don't track results, you're never going to know if that strategy is actually working, right? So that's number one. And, you know, most people don't do that, which is why they jump around. They aren't finding success. They jump to another thing. They aren't finding success, and they just keep that cycle over and over again, right? Rinse and repeat. So it's good that you've stuck with it for 2.5 years, but, you know, now the next stage is that are you wasting your time with the strategy, right? You need to know if you're going to be profitable with it or not. And look at this move. So that setup would have been fantastic. And that was a perfect setup too, right? We just didn't get the EQ tested here, but I lost my train of thought. But yeah, what I was saying is track your results, right? Make sure that you are, profitable, right? Or not exactly profitable. Just know that your consistency is there, right? That you're getting your win rates there. This is a strategy that's going to help you, get consistent in the long term. And you're not going to do that unless you're tracking your results. A lot of people skip that part, right? They just trade every day. They don't, they don't track the statistics. They don't journal. They don't do. They're not keeping it. So, like, if you were to run a business, right, and if you're trading, if your goal is to trade professionally and to make an income out of doing this, then you got to treat it like a business, right? And you've probably heard that before. I'm just, just kind of repeating what is the obvious. You wouldn't run a business without knowing your KPIs, without knowing your P&L, without knowing, your income, your revenue, and your expenses, right? So it's the same thing with trading. If you don't know your numbers, right, you're just kind of wading through the dark, right? Kind of blindfolded guessing. So the first thing is to find a strategy that works, that resonates with you, that you find works for you, okay? And if you find that with BTMM, fine, right? Great. Second is to track that strategy over a period of, 6 months to a year to 2 years, whatever, right? Trade it long enough so that you know that the numbers work out, right? That you have an edge. Because otherwise, if you don't, you're just guessing, like I said. And then if it works, then great, right? But then if it doesn't, and you're seeing that it's, not showing promising returns, then you can go on to another strategy. Okay, but most people will do that within like 2 weeks, right? They won't take 6 months. They won't take a year to really trade a strategy to find out if it works. They'll jump to something else within like 2 days, right? 2 weeks, whatever. However long our attention spans are these days, because it's not very long. But I'll tell you that, for the most part, it's never really the strategy that keeps people broke and not working. It's usually, what we do, what we're not supposed to do, shall I say. Risk management, right? Discipline, that kind of stuff. That's what really keeps people from being consistent, is just keeping your hand out of the cookie jar when you're supposed to, right? Most people go for that second cookie, or third or fourth or fifth, right? And then, 2 years later, you find out you're 50 pounds overweight and you've blown 65 accounts because you can't keep your hand out of the cookie jar. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but all right, so we got a candle that closed above. We got a candle that closes below. 15-minute is bearish on that last candle, and then we saw the continuation. That setup was really nice. Probably could have taken it, but didn't get that EQ tested, so I didn't like it. But this was perfect, right? See that? We got the retest of the imbalance. We got the sweep of the internal high, right? This is exactly our model to the T. If we had divergence there, that would have been even better. Oh, looks like Kyle caught it. Good job, buddy. Yeah, I mean, it was a good setup. Honestly, it was right there. Excellent. All right. I'm glad you guys acted on it. All right. I'm going to be a little bit more strict on my entries, right? For the lives, obviously, right? I'm going to try to follow every our rules to take these trades, but I'm glad you guys caught it. And we're going to come down to this low here. We can catch a nice continuation. There will be a continuation as well, I'm sure. Right? So this right here, if we form, you know, an internal sweep, we get a nice, you know, another rejection from another imbalance or an order block. Yeah, I appreciate it, Kyle. I mean, like, you know, there's certain aspects to trading live that, you know, obviously would prevent you from doing things or do things that you would normally wouldn't do. And so that you got to take that into account. But I also got to, you know, keep in mind that people are watching me do this and also could potentially taking trades that I'm taking because of what I'm saying. So I'm going to try to keep it as tight and as strict as I can. Obviously, there are going to be losses, right? Yesterday we took a loss. The day before we had a win, right? So there's going to be ups and downs, but I'll try to be as as tight as I can. Following setup rules is my downfall. Sometimes I take core trades. Yeah, and honestly, like, that's everyone, right? The reason you fail is because you don't stick to the plan, right? You have a plan beforehand and you don't stick to it, right? I'm saying, okay, I'm going to take this trade and I'm going to close it, right? And I'm not going to take another trade. And then you take another trade, and then that trade loses, and you're like, oh, I gotta make that money back. So I'm going to take this trade, I'm going to make the money back, and I'm going to stop, right? And then that trade fails, and then that spirals into, you know, a blown account. Right? That's one scenario. Another scenario is, I don't know, you're going to say, okay, today looks terrible, right? I'm just going to stay out. But then it looks like, you know, oh, maybe something is happening here. It's not quite, you know, following my rules here, but it looks good. I'm just going to take it, right? And that can spiral into, you know, another B scenario, right? You guys get the idea. It's never the strategy, or most times it's not the strategy. You guys have a strategy in front of you, you have lots of steps in front of you, you know exactly what to look for. It's that you guys just don't follow the plan, right? You don't follow what you're supposed to do. Another is that you risk too much, right? You think it's a good setup or whatever, you want to make a lot of money fast, you size up like incredibly large, right? Way more than you're supposed to. That's risk management. Right? So the two things are always going to be like risk management and discipline. Okay? Those two things are the enemy of trading, right? And that's what trading is it's keeping your emotions in check, making sure you follow the plan, right? Because there's only going to be, like, there's either going to be a first outcome is you make money, right? The second outcome is you lose, right? Lose money. Or the third outcome is that you just basically keep yourself, you know, from doing something, so you don't do anything, right? But you want to make sure that you're not you're not going on tilt and doing crazy stuff, right? When you shouldn't be sitting on your hands. So I guarantee you, if I take a poll, right, or if I ask anybody, you know, on the stream or whatever, or if I just ask 1,000 traders, right, 999 of them, well, actually, I won't say it's that extreme, but like 90% of them, right, are going to say that the reason they lose is because of one of those reasons. Either they don't follow their rules, they risk too much, right, and that's it, right? Discipline and risk management. That's the only reason. Because every strategy works. I mean, you've seen, you know, people post all these different strategies on YouTube. There's not a shortage of strategies on YouTube, right? You can go right now, thousands and thousands of videos on the holy grail strategy that works. You know, this setup works every time. You know, I've passed, you know, millions of prop firms that I've gotten, you know, tens of thousands of dollars with it. You know, like it's not the strategy. It's you. It's the person, right? It's the person trading the strategy. Because you give the same strategy to two different people, you're going to get two different results, right? You're not going to get the same result because one person could be very risk averse. Another person could be, you know, a total gambler, right? You're going to get two wildly different results. So trading is about you and your own personal demons, right? Facing that and then really controlling yourself, following your plan, adhering to your plan, and making sure that you don't stray from that ever. Because if you do that over the course of 1,000 trades, right? If you could just follow that, follow your plan to the T every single day and make sure that you don't go off the rails and do something crazy, right? Overtrade, size up, revenge trade, FOMO, all that stuff, right? Then you would be consistent, or you would be at least very well on your way to being consistent. Yep, Kyle, exactly, right? So you do a trade, right? You lose it, right? And we can't accept that loss. As humans, we hate accepting the loss. So we got to make it back, right? I'll just make it back. I'll take I'll take a trade here, I'll make it back, and then I'll stop. Right? And if your rule is that you're going to trade once a day and stop after you win or lose, right? Which is my rule, and you don't do that, that's where it snowballs, right? You take a loss, you're like, I took a loss, but I got to make it back, right? And then I take another trade, and then it's a second loss, and then a third, and then a fourth, right? It's very easy to let yourself slip once you've done it once. Once you've broken that rule once, it's very easy to just slip into like a third and a second, and second, third, fourth after that. And yeah, that's a good point. Locking out now, like now, if you guys trade on Tradeovate, right, or I think Top Step's platform as well, Kyle trades Top Step, right? They have those locking things right now, right? Now you can actually set a time on your Tradeovate to lock yourself out, right? So if you take a loss, the best thing to do is just to set that lock timer on there to the next trading day. That will guarantee their platform will not allow you to take another trade after that. All right, looks like we're getting a little consolidation here, but the 10 o'clock candle just closed. So we have a closure through, right? We got the imbalance up here. So ideally, what I want to see happen, if we're going to continue lower, which, I mean, looks like we should, what I want to see happen is for price to come up and reach into this 15-minute imbalance here, right? Give me a reaction and then go lower. So this is probably going to have to take some time to develop, but we already have our internal sweep high right here, right? So I want to see price come back up here and sweep this actually. Let's see if this is inside of our point of interest. And it is. Okay, so I want to see price come back up there. I've got a divergence here. I mean, maybe we don't see it go through, but for now, this is my range, right? I've got this high. I've got this low. Okay, my 15-minute is bearish. I'm in my premium. I've got my EQ tested. Everything's great. Okay, so now just price come back up here, sweep this high, come back down. Got the order block here. All right, psych level here. So if we get to 250, great, but I'm looking for price to sweep this level here, 225. My stop is going to go above the high, above the psych level. So around 50-ish, 55-ish point stop. And then we look for a 1-to-1. So if we map it out here on the 15-minute candles, what I'm looking for is a sweep of this high into this point of interest, right? And then a run down to the next low, essentially. So this is ideally what I want to see happen. Okay. But we're just going for the 1-to-1, so right here would be fine. And we'll see if we get that set up. Check the 4-hour close. This is very nice as well. We got a divergence with YM. All right, and then we got a 4-hour close here, so this is nice continuation. If we get continuation from this 50% level or this premium. So everything is in alignment for a good move down if we can get it. We certainly could also just trade this as it is right now, but obviously we want to wait for a little bit better entry. So if we can get the retracement back into this imbalance, that is what we're looking for to do. We got some internal sweeps here. This is the change of character on the 5-minute that we came back into. Did we actually hit this level? 223.50, and this high was 222.50. So we, oh shit, was it this one? No, 225.75. Yeah, we did. I think there was this candle right here, 273 was that tag, right? And then this one into here. Too bad there wasn't a internal swing here, because we could have taken that, but let's see if we get one more move back up here. Oh, little divergence firing off there. So we did get a sweep of this high here on ES and YM. There's oh, not sure what that was. That was 1 second, right? Flip up, flip back down. It's a retest of the change of character there. Let's see if we get a continuation from that. This is a consolidation here, so I really don't want to be involved in this for right now. Would like to see another sweep of a high or something to get involved. A little bounce there at 120. Let's see if it takes us up to sweep our high. Okay, and then the 5 minutes to the next 15-minute close. If we do close underneath, I do like it, and I do like that we are respecting this low here to engineer that liquidity down lower. This is the goal today if we can get down here, so plenty of room if the plan does play out. Okay, and if we don't get the price stopping here, right, we do have this high on the 15 minutes, so this could turn into, you know, kind of a higher time frame play, higher, right? So remember to zoom out every once in a while. Don't get so focused on the 1 minute and just look at 1 minute ranges, right? Remember that we have this whole big range here now on the 15 minute from this high to this low, right? So if I take this whole range and, you know, let's just say that this is the low that starts to come back and retrace, right? Our premium is up here. This is still actually in the discount of this range, so it's not actually ideal. But if we do get it there, right, we can look to take an entry, but this would probably be more ideal, is taking this. So let's see if we get, and now that we're kind of like consolidating here, it feels like we're going to get probably a move up through all of this. Because if we don't get a pause here, if we don't get a confirmation here, right, and price goes through, then this is going to be a change of character, right? So this right here, if we break this level or close above this level, this is going to be a 15-minute change of character. Or, sorry, actually, this is a 1 minute. I know what I'm talking about. The 1 minute change of character, right? Because our last structural high that took out a low is this big move right here, right? So if this gets wiped, then that's a pretty significant change of character, which means that the 15-minute likely is going to be run out into the premium, right? So I wouldn't be too quick to jump in on that short just yet. We might actually see some longs here up to those levels. coming back up here. And after this candle, we got one more 1 minute candle. And then we got the 15-minute close. So staying below this would be good, right? And then coming back up here. All right. So 15-minute candle closure did close underneath, which is good. It was kind of like a bullish doji-ish candle here, right? So we want to see this retracement now back up into our imbalance here, right? But like I said, it could also come back up for this high here. So let's see how this retracement happens in this range. If we fly through this level here and we just close through the imbalance, then obviously we'll look for the sweep here and this imbalance, or sorry, this order block. Discipline equals freedom. Marines say that after years of trying to cheat the system, you realize that without it, you'll be forever caged in. Starts with everything: diet, impulse control, always a learning process. We can follow work schedules, but we can't hold ourselves to the same set of rules. I'm assuming while trading, right? Which is why we can never escape. I mean, it's funny because, like, you know, like we're so ingrained in our daily routines that we don't think about it, right? And that's how we have to be with the trading. But it's just that, you know, there's some things, there's a part of our, you know, brains that take over when money's involved, right? The fear, the greed, the you know, whatever it is, right, that keeps us from adhering to the rules. That's why people say that you want to, like, separate your emotions, right? Trade like a robot. But it's so difficult for us to do that as humans, right? Because we're humans, right? You can't just, like, turn off our emotions. So you got to somehow incorporate that into your daily discipline, right? And it's got to be something that you work on, you know, over time consistently. Because it's not just going to happen one day. You're not just going to wake up and say, okay, I'm going to follow my rules today, and everything's going to go, you know, peachy keen. Because, you know, there's so many, like, you know, variables that can, you know, throw a monkey wrench into things. You know, let's take, you know, like win rate, for example, right? So if you have a 50% win rate, okay, like your brain is wired to think, okay, if I have a 50% win rate, that means I'm going to win one, lose one, win one, lose one, right? And that would be like the perfect scenario for a 50% win rate. But because of how trading is and how variance is, you could take 5 losses in a row, right? And that's completely normal. Like you have a 50% win rate, but you take 5 losses in a row, right? And then the next 5 are winners, right? Or something like that. But your sample size is too small. So like that's why I'm saying like you got to track your activity, you got to track your trades over a very long period of time so that you get to that win rate. Because on days where you have losing streaks, you could take 3, 4, 5, losers in a given week, right? And then the next week could be positive, or that next week could also be a string of losers, but your sample size has to be big enough to incorporate that win rate calculation. It can't just be a week, right? It can't just be like a month. So, you have to basically condition yourself for that variance, because there are going to be weeks where you have losing streaks, right? Or months where you have losing streaks, and it's not going to go your way. So that's something that we just don't, that we don't really expect. Like we expect the strategy, if it says, okay, if I have a 50% win rate, then I'm going to win today, I'll lose tomorrow, win today, lose tomorrow, right? I mean, that's kind of like a generalized thinking way of seeing it, but that's generally what we think. Like if we have a losing streak of 2 weeks on a 50% win rate, we think the strategy is bad, right? But that's not the strategy being bad, that's just variance, right? And that's just part of the game. You don't have a big enough sample size, you don't have enough trades over a course of a long time to say that that's that's not in the cards, because that can happen. So if that happens, we just happen to hit a bad patch in the variance, and then you think the strategy is bad, so you jump to another strategy, right? And you think that's the answer, but you're basically sabotaging yourself. Now you have to go back, you start a whole new strategy, learn a whole new set of rules, and now you got to rework the whole the time period now, and now you're starting back from zero. So it doesn't do you any good to keep jumping around. Tommy, in the daily time frame, when do you think this retracement will end and we are bullish again? In the daily time frame, I mean, we're already pretty much, like, this was the retracement, right? We're expecting this to be the continuation, so we want to see this as a continuation, right? So what has to happen? We have price respecting this order block, right? This bullish order block here, and you can see that we're still above it, right? So as long as we're still above it, we're gonna expand, right? So this is the consolidation, this is price loading up to expand. Every time we've made a retracement like this, right, we've gone up, right, every single time. This is kind of a shorter, shallow one, but this is the same thing. So we're expecting this to do the same thing. So when would I expect this to continue higher? I would say once we cross the threshold here of the 50% of this candle, which we already have, this is already price loading up to go higher, right? But the real confirmation is going to be, how do I know that that's the case? Well, when we close above this candle, right? When we close above the bearish candle here, then it's pretty much, we've already passed the point of where price could still retrace. Because I could still retrace from where we are right now. We could still go lower. We could still, take this level out. We could still do stuff in this discount here. So 4 hour might give us a better picture, but the 4 hour is bearish right now. You can see all of our directions are bearish, right? So when price turns around, it's like that analogy of the ship, right? A small ship is a smaller time frame. A big ship is like the larger time frame. So for a big ship, like a cruise ship or like a big yacht, to turn, it's going to take its time, right? And then curve around and then make the turn. So it's going to take some time for it to do that. But a small ship can just do it really quickly, right? And it can do like circles and figure eights and stuff like that. And it's going to be really quick. But a big ship, a larger time frame, it's got to take its time, right? And then you got to see that it's actually turning around. So we're not there yet, right? The fact that I'm seeing this divergence here and that we have this closure, right, on the 4 hour, we're not going to be bullish again until we close back above this bearish candle here. So from my perspective, this candle, this 4-hour candle, there's this order block right here around the premium, right? Price is going to come back up here, hit that, and then continue lower. And that's what I'm expecting here in the 15-minute as well. So it's this same idea, right? So I want to see this high to this low right now. This is the internal sweep, right, into this premium, and then see price go down. Here's the 4-hour, right? So you see in the premium here, we've got this order block, right? And we've got this internal high. So I've the indicator's already marked the order block here. This is the high. So what I want to see is price come up on this move here. Take this level. If we take this level and don't hit the order block, fine, right? But we want to see the sweep of the level. So how do we confirm the sweep of the level? We come above it and then we close below it, right? At that point, if we get 15-minute here to be bearish, right, then we can look for an internal sweep like that and then take the short. All right, and look at this move up here, right? We're trading up into our zone here and showing no signs of slowing down. So yep. So to be honest, I've seen this structure many, many times. And when we don't get a move down like this, it takes a low for a sweep, right? This usually is just continuation. I think this is going to go straight through. So I'd rather see price come up and take this level out, because this high is a lot more significant since we have taken a low with the high. That is a much more stronger sweep. Because why is that? Because if I have broken structure on this, right, then a lot more sellers have been in this move, and there's a lot more orders sitting up here. This is just a pullback, right? We didn't take out anything here. So yes, we did induce sellers here, I guess, on this move here, but there's not enough liquidity here for price to reverse from. All the liquidity right now is here, here, and here. Notice how we respected, right? And then we're moving down. So there's a lot of liquidity here that's sitting right now that price is now wanting to run through. So this is much more poignant of an area for price to reverse from, this imbalance, and sits right underneath this high right here, right? So I would, like, if this rejects right now, I would expect it to come down to maybe like here, hold this, and then come up for this, and then reject and come down. And remember this level, right? If we close above it, that's technically going to be a change of character on the 1 minute here, and that will be bullish. So next 7 seconds here, let's see if we get a close above. This attempted to reject, did not happen. Oh, we got a divergence here. Okay, but let's see if this goes through. And we'll see what happens also when we get this the sweep here. Bullish change of character here on the continuation, coming back to this level and then going higher. Could potentially be a buy setup, right? We've got a 15-minute bullish candle now, right? So we got a bullish change of character here. We've got our ERL and EQ tested, right? ERL just means that we've broken the external range high of the previous candle, right? So that means that we're bullish. We've got EQ tested. We have a 15-minute bullish CRT, right? And we have our retracement now, coming back to our bullish change of character here. What we want to see is the bullish change of character holding as the order block to move up, and we want to see an internal sweep form in here. Okay, so we have like something like this, right, into the change of character, and then close back above. And once we close above, we have our long, stop below the sweep, and then targeting the 1-to-1, right? And if we're going to target this level up here, that probably will give us a little bit more than a 2R if the entry is around here, if it happens this way. Okay, 30-minute candle is just about to close here in the next 20 seconds. Okay. And we've got ourselves price trading into the imbalance here, and then we'll see what kind of reaction we get. So this is kind of like in between, right? So we had a retest. We had a retest of the day open on this candle and a confirmation here. This is going to go into the imbalance, which we want to see actually reject. So on the next candle close, if we get a rejection that closes outside of the imbalance, it would be, you know, bearish again. So we have kind of like mixed signals. But yeah, I would not be shorting this just yet until we get up to here. I think that's, like I said, a much better area. Building in more orders, building in more liquidity. There is a 15-minute imbalance being formed right here to get us up there. If we get this to be a relatively smallish candle closure, then we can look for price to come down and tap that, right? And then give us a buy setup. So I like this consolidation here, actually. If we stay, you know, consolidating around this area here, this is a little bit high up in the range, but we want this to give us a swing high that we can use as our top end. This is our bottom end like this, right? At the moment right now, this is because we don't have an internal in the discount here. This would be it. So we'd want to see price come down, come down for here, sweep this out, and then make its way up. Okay, and our long setup here underneath the 50 level, with our stop below the psych level, below the swing, and that would be about 50 points. All right, so our short setup on the sweep of this high here is still, I mean, technically would be still valid, right? So we could take it down to these levels here for a move as well. But like I said, I'd rather see it sweep out like this high here. So Still kind of got to wait for confirmation. There's the size. The size of this candle is good for the buy, right? This is about how big the candle should be, right? So that we form this imbalance, and we're relatively close to just tagging it and then going higher. Just want to make sure that this is appearing correctly, because I don't think that it is, right? It's not showing here, so I think I need to fix that. But it is showing on the PL3 candles, right? This is the imbalance we want to see that price will tag into. So we got the low right here sitting just above the imbalance. We've got change of character here, right? So ideally I want to see price come back to the change of character and the order block here. There's also a small imbalance right here on the 1 minute. Okay, we're nearing the level that we wanted to see for internal sweep. We blew past this, right? So this one, like I said, did not hold at all. Actually acted as support for the next push up, right? And we're going to get another change of character here, which we already see right there. Okay, and this is our next area of liquidity. Right, we have a small 1 minute model here to trade up to the highs. I think we can get that. Okay, good candle, right? I got an imbalance right here. Okay, Caleb. No worries. All right, let's see if we get that move down here into it. So order block here, 50 level, and then this is the stop, and the high is we want to get up to here. So we could eventually assume a 2R, but 1R would be good enough just to get above the high that we're at right here. And let's see if we get it. Came about 1 or 2 points away. 150, right? 250, 150. All right, and I want it to retest the level, and I want it to close back above it. So I don't want to see it close below and then take it, right? I need to see now this come back above, because this could just melt right through, obviously, because we have a sweep here. But the stop is small enough here to where I can accept it if it goes through. I'm just going to take this continuation up to the next high off of this 1 minute range, but we don't get the confirmation here, so nothing yet. Not doing anything yet. If we get the close underneath here before we get the close above here, then that's a change of character, so I will not be taking it long after that. So let's see if we get the close under here. And nope, bearish. All right, if we get the change of character, I'm going to revisit the bearish idea, but I'll have to wait for the next candle closure because this is going to be 15-minute candle closure to be bearish. And our imbalance did hold for now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this confirmation. The confirmation is going to be the change of character below here. Okay, and then we're going to look for the retracement sweep and the sell. See if we get the close here on the next 25-ish seconds. And yeah, all right, so more kind of chop. Oh, we got a bullish divergence now. How is this? Let's see. $40-ish points to the high. Yeah. 50 points to this high here. So we got this divergence. So what that means is that this low here spiked out this low here on YM, right? And that's a pretty massive divergence. So I'm actually expecting this to, follow through on that because of, everything I just said about taking this high, right? I expect price to come up and take this high here and trade into this imbalance. So I would expect this also to work out. But having said that, I do want the 45 candle to close like this, and I do want us to come back actually and retap this imbalance to do that. So I might not take it on this exact kind of structure because this to me looks like the consolidation. And so, it's a 1 minute divergence, so it's, it's powerful, but it's not really that reliable at times. So I still want to see price come down here, take out the level, tag the imbalance, tag the change of character line. So I want to come back to about 180 if we can, and then see the move up after that. Into these regions here. So I doubt we'll get the setup then, obviously in the next 18 minutes. But there's the candle closure. I mean, like I said, we could take it like we did not get the change of character. So technically that was an entry right there that I was trying to take before, but now the stop is much bigger. because the stop now has to be like 60. Let's see, yeah, 60-ish points. Okay, and to get to 1-to-1 here, we're like going above here, which is where we want to go, but it's much higher. Like I'd rather the 1-to-1 be below that, so that we can hit it for sure, and then not have to worry about it taking the high. So you can see it's working out, but you know, obviously that could change once we take this high. So I'd like to see price come back for this level here to trade back into this order block here. All right, for the buy. And for the short, I want to see price take out this level. Okay, so there's two levels here I'm watching for the short. Is here. All right, so take this level out, retest this, and then take the short. And for the long, I want to see it come down before we take this level here, because I don't want to see this level traded through. I want to see this hold respect, right? This high and this high respected, come down, break the structure here, tap into this level, and then go up. Okay, so those are the two ideas I'm looking for going forward. And I'll wait for this next candle closure to solidify this 15-minute bullish candle. And that's going to be the plan for the PM session. Okay, so a little bit of waiting still, right, for things to align. But hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know. Any questions before we call it? There's the 15. We got a bullish bias, right? So I'm looking for the sweep here. Sweep here, order block here, and then move up to the high, right? I want to see this stay. If this goes now before, right, and we don't get that bullish setup and we clear out these highs, then we'll look for the short on the reaction up here. All right, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so we'll come back tomorrow. We'll do the dance again tomorrow, and hopefully we get something good. Okay, but trading is it's a game of waiting. Yes, James.
Where would we find, or where could I find the that information that you had on that new on the new indicator or the update?
What are you talking about?
Well, it showed you had something for us to go and look at there, but then I got out of it. How do I go back to it? It kind of, I guess, explained what it did. It was the Asian. What was it? Key levels Asian range, I think it was.
You mean the settings? You want to see the settings?
Yeah, the settings. Well, not the set, but yeah, I want to see that too. But also there was, if you wanted to look at something else, I can't remember what it was now. You clicked on something there and it took you to it, but I don't know how to get back to it. It explained everything about what it was about, I believe.
Oh,
I think you had some disclosures there in it also.
yeah, that's okay. I'll send you a screenshot of that if you want that after
Okay.
this. Yep.
All right.
Okay. Anything else? All right. Yeah, so that'll do it, guys. We'll come back again tomorrow. Hopefully this buy setup will work out for us here. So we're looking for price to come back to this OB here. Ideally, we want to see a sweep of this level probably, right? But this level will serve as our internal if we can get it. And 180 would be the target for that. Down here would be 150. Okay, so either of those two levels giving us the sweep and then the move back up. If it doesn't happen and we go up first, right, to these levels, then we'll look for potentially a short setup. All right. All right. You're welcome, Zane. Welcome, everyone else. Thanks for joining us on the YouTube stream, and everyone else as well in the VIP. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day, and good luck with your trades.